March 2020. The world was in shock. But before the virus spread to every country, another panic took hold. A desperate run on toilet paper. Empty shelves, shopping cart hoarding, and viral memes about socks and sandpaper. It was absurd, it was hilarious, but it was also a fascinating case study in economics and human behavior. Welcome to the Pie and the Pound, where math meets markets and absurdity meets analysis. Today, we are unpacking the great toilet paper fiasco of 2020, what it revealed about scarcity, supply chains, and why rational consumers can behave so irrationally. When the first lockdowns were announced, people reacted instinctively. For some reason, toilet paper became the ultimate symbol of security. As Kyle Mann wrote in his comedic retrospective, The Great Toilet Paper Fiasco, shoppers were hoarding rolls as if they were gold bars. It began as a precaution, but then the sight of empty shelves triggered more buying. Before long, supermarkets looked post apocalyptic, all because of a product most of us never thought about twice. That's the power of expectations. In economics, it's called a self fulfilling prophecy. If people expect scarcity, they create it. And that's exactly what happened. Now, here's the surprising part: the problem wasn't production. As Forbes contributor Steve Banker explained, toilet paper factories kept running. They were classified as essential and pulp supplies were steady. The breakdown was in forecasting. A study by E2Open found that demand planning error jumped from 45% before the pandemic to nearly 60% at the peak. Forecasting systems depend on historical data. They assume yesterday looks like tomorrow. But when a pandemic upends normal life, those assumptions collapse. Manufacturers simply couldn't predict the panic. Service levels, the ability to meet retailer demand, fell from 99% to 83%, the lowest ever recorded. Extreme forecasting errors, where predictions missed reality by more than double, shot up to 38%. Mathematically, a 13% drop in service equals a 13% loss in potential sales. Billions wiped out by bad data and frantic buying. So, how do we make sense of this? In normal times, the demand for toilet paper is steady. It's predictable. People buy about the same amount every week. But when panic spreads, the entire demand curve shifts upward. People suddenly want far more at any price. Meanwhile, supply doesn't budge. Factories can't instantly double production. So, supply is what economists call inelastic. It stays fixed in the short term. With skyrocketing demand and fixed supply, you get the one outcome every shopper saw: empty shelves. What's interesting is that each individual made a rational choice. I should buy some before it's gone. But together, those rational choices created a collective disaster. It's the same logic behind a bank run. Everyone rushing to withdraw money from a bank that was actually fine until people panicked. Only this time, the bank was your local supermarket and the currency was 2-ply. As the year went on, manufacturers adapted. They stopped launching new products and focused on high volume essentials. Efficiency, not innovation, became the new growth model. Companies using machine learning and demand sensing, algorithms that updated forecasts daily based on real sales data, recovered faster. It showed that resilience isn't about predicting the future, it's about responding quickly when the future surprises you. Economically, That's the difference between static efficiency and dynamic resilience. Looking back, three lessons stand out. First, scarcity is often psychological. The belief that something will run out makes it run out. Second, efficiency isn't the same as strength. Just in time supply chains save money but leave no buffer for shocks. Third, humor helps. Memes about toilet paper and socks weren't just jokes, they were social relief valves. They kept us connected during collective anxiety. The toilet paper crisis was a strange chapter in modern economics. Part comedy, part cautionary tale. It revealed how human behavior can unravel the neat lines of supply and demand. It showed that behind every spreadsheet are people with emotions, fears, and biases. And it reminded us that economics isn't just about markets, it's about the messy, fascinating patterns of human behavior under pressure. This has been The Pie and the Pound. I'm Kavya, and next time you see an empty shelf, remember it's not just a shortage, it's a lesson in economics.